Salve a tutti, sono Almaro e benvenuti in un nuovo video. Oggi siamo qui per fare un'intervista a Blackthorn, famoso per essere il chitarrista dei Thorns e per essere stato il chitarrista dei Mayhem. Prima di iniziare ringrazio Snorre per la sua disponibilità, per aver accettato di essere nostro ospite, vi lascio l'intervista e vi auguro buona visione.
Nice to meet you and thank you for staying here today.
Welcome, nice being here.
Why you started the music and why you started with black metal music? Talk me about the beginning of your career.
In the beginning, there was no term black metal. It was just metal. We listened to punk and hardcore and metal, and after that, more like thrash and death metal. But I think the black metal term wasn't invented yet. So when we started to make our own music, we just wanted to be noisier and uglier and grimmer than everyone else's metal. So eventually people started to call it black metal, and I guess also a lot of people consider Thorns black metal, even though I just call it metal.
Thorns are considered more important for the beginning of Norwegian black metal. And what about your contribution, your band contribution at the born of these music genres?
I think it's a little coincidence that the music I make and the way I play and the way I write music is like inspiring to other people. Because if I didn't have that luck, people would like just consider my music ordinary and boring. But as I understand, people think it's interesting and different, and a lot of bands are inspired by Thorns. At least they say so. And I think that's very lucky for me, because I just make the music that I like and music that comes to mind, and I think I'm just one of the lucky ones that have a style that so many people think is good.
In your debut album, you have contaminated your black metal sound with all the type of music style. Why this choice? And what do you think about the evolution of black metal in that year?
In the beginning, Thorns were like trying to make children's tunes and nursery rhymes and different approaches to making music. But when we came to the point to make the debut album, I felt that the metal that was released, all the black metal, was a little, maybe a little boring. So since I listened a lot to different electronic music and I played some computer games, so I incorporated the electronic synthesizers, and I stole some samples from different computer games and used that in the music. I had some analog synthesizers and some digital synthesizers that I used, and also I made the album on a computer. So it was like, okay, I had these tools and I just made the best of it. I used what I had at hand, and I know that many people feel that it has like an industrial sound, which I guess it's correct. But it wasn't like something I planned, but it like became that way because I had these tools and I used them. So I think always I try to use what I have at hand to make the best music I can. So I just wanted to like add some more layers to the black metal sound or the metal sound, and at that time the synthesizers and the samples were like close by at hand. so I could use them and make them into some more interesting soundscapes than just the guitars and drums. A lot of people don't know this, but the bass on the album is a synthesizer too. So I guess that's why it sounds the way it sounds.
After this album, you never published another album with Thorns. You have in program new material in the future?
Yeah, we have just finished album number 2. It's down the pipeline now. It's we're doing a premix, you can call it, soon, and in not too long also we will mix it. I hope the same guy, Mike Hartung, who mixed the previous album, will mix this one too. So there will be a album out, I guess, next year. I hoped it would be out this year, but time has run away, so I don't think we'll make it this year. So next year there will be the second Thorns album, and also we started working on number 3.
You were noticed for your collaboration with Mayhem at the Mysterious Don Satanas. Can you talk me about that period and about the inner circle?
The inner circle thing is kind of a cartoonish thing for me, but at that time, just before Mayhem recorded, or they had already started recording the Mysterious Doom Satanas, and I was living in Oslo with Faust and Marius. We tried to get Thorns on tracks and get a rehearsal place and start playing more, but that never happened. So I was a little what do you call it, depressed by the fact that we couldn't get Thorns running. So since both I needed a second guitar player and Mayhem needed a second guitar player, we first made a deal to play guitar in each other's bands. But then I thought, okay, I have some songs, and maybe I should just bring everything over to Mayhem and help them make the follow-up to the Mysteries, because since the Mysteries were already made, or at least the songs. So for 3 months I was second guitar player in Mayhem, and after a while I figured that what do you call it, the weather, the climate in Mayhem was not a good place, so I pulled back out and moved back home and started considering doing just Thorns again. Yeah, and for the things I did for the Mysteries, it was mainly a couple of the riffs of Grymyrk Øystein wanted to use on that album, and I said it's okay, I want to trash those songs and make new ones. So he had a couple of riffs from a Thorns song called Lovely Children, and he used those in From the Dark Past, I think. And then I had all the lyrics that Dead Pelle wrote, and they needed to be arranged in a way that made sense in the song. So I worked with them, and I worked with Attila to figure where to put the different verses and where in the song to sing, and I had to rewrite some of the stuff to make it fit. So I had some fingers into the Mysterious albums, but the album, but I didn't play any instrument there. But I helped them with the cover design, and I also took those photos of the band, which is in the booklet. So
Okay.
that was my contribution to the Mysterious. But I don't feel I contributed heavily musically to that album. But Øystein, Euronymous, and I, we used to play guitar together and exchanged playing techniques and learned a lot from each other. So maybe in some way I may have influenced some of how the riff sounds, but yeah, I don't feel that The Mysteries is my album in any way.
What about working with Euronymous? How do you remember about him as a guitarist and about great influences of the Mysterious Dom Satana scene, black metal scene?
Um, it was interesting because I think he also was a autodidact, a self-taught guitar player, and so was I. And I knew about Mayhem before he knew about my project, and when we first met, we found that we had a lot of similar thoughts in common, and when we started playing guitar together, we were fascinated by each other's way of playing the guitar and how to do different things on the instrument. I learned that strumming technique, the very quick strumming from him, and I started using these minor chords and making my own chords on the guitar and do the strumming across them, and then we influenced each other in a lot of ways, guitar playing wise, and also we discussed, of course, a lot of how to make songs and how to make music, and yeah, I guess we influenced each other in many ways. But the later 10-15 years, the guy who I've been working most with on this in this respect has been Satir. So and he has a different approach again, and I think that's interesting, and I guess I've influenced him also in many ways. So it's always interesting to have creative people that are skilled, that you can discuss every aspect of music with. So yeah, always ready to learn new stuff.
What about your life philosophy in your music?
I don't put too much life philosophy into my music. I have my own way of doing my life and coping with stuff, and I try to live my life apart from the music. But I try to put a lot of other stuff into the music, more like the emotional side, and I think even though I try to lead a normal life, I get inspired from occurrences in in life in general, and I when I get frustrated or angry or think things are fucked up, I use the music more as a outlet for that. Um, Sometimes in the late 90s, I was thinking like, what can I do with this black metal? Why should I make metal? Why should I do all this angry music? But life never disappoints, so you will always get like emotional about stuff. You always get angry. You always get frustrated, and there's always some shit down the line that you just have to cope with. And one of the ways of coping with it is to behave, do the right thing, but then you can take all this anger and frustration and put it into extreme guitar playing or making songs that are really dark. So I think I don't need to go into the woods or be religious or anything to get spiritual. That comes by itself, just from trying to lead a normal life. You'll get punched, you'll get kicked, you'll get you'll get all these feelings anyway that you can like channelize into the music. And yeah, I still make really dark music, so I thought maybe that I could get rid of all these dark feelings, but they come back.
You participated at a cover of Freezing Moon with Gal, with other musicians.
Yeah. It was Mayhem was like incorporated into the Hall of Fame of Rock Museum. That occasion, they asked me secretly if I wanted to participate in a secret band to like play a tribute song for Mayhem. And I agreed, and this was with Gal and Samut and drummer of Emperor and Anders Odden of Cadaver. And so what I did, I went to Trondheim the night before. I live a couple of hours on the outside, and I lied to Mayhem and I said I had to pick up some stuff. I had to. I don't remember what I said, but I met up with them because I thought it would be like a good time to meet the guys again. And I brought like 5-liter bottle, a container, a big container of moonshine. And I met with them, went to their hotel room and got them real drunk. So the next morning, when I told them I was going back home, they were going to this Rock Game event. I didn't tell them I was participating. So the next morning at 8 o'clock, they were really hungover and they look really pissed in that sofa where they're sitting. So I had like costume on for the occasion. Everyone was like wearing the ordinary black metal outfits they usually wear. Maybe not so with the makeup and stuff, but they like wore like ordinary stuff. And I had like a green suit on, which farmers use, and I had rubber boots, and just to honor their way of doing these things with pigs and rehearsing in a hen house and stuff like that. So I wanted to take the farmer approach to the scene. So it was kind of a special a special show for them. And if you see that, have you seen that video of the?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they look really like they don't look too happy. I think it's because it's very early in the morning, the day after they drank moonshine. So but they liked it. I think that was a success, great success.
People criticized that exhibition.
Yeah, what do people say about it? It's like too much or not in the spirit of Mayhem. Because if they knew the spirit of Mayhem, they would like think that this is perfect. Mayhem, as people don't recognize that there's a lot of not a lot, but even Mayhem lets the humor through sometimes. You know, the inner piece of the Death Crush album. There's a cow. Yeah, and they use this pig heads on stakes, and they used to rehearse in a chicken house, and all these things have always been like part of not Mayhem's like main image, but it's always been with them. And if they knew what Dead used to draw, they would like make a different opinion, I think, because everyone is like just picking out pieces of Mayhem's image that they like, and it's all often the mysterious and evil and dark shit, but there's more to people than only that single aspect. People have more dimensions, and I guess all the people I know from the black metal society in Norway, from old to now, have a sense of humor as well. So if people get pissed, let them be pissed.
You talked about Mayhem spirit, but that is not alive anymore, sadly,
Yeah.
and nobody can interpret Freezing Moon like him, and that lineup wasn't anymore. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree with me or not.
Yeah, that lineup was special, and it's never coming back anyway. But I think it's no point that in hating on the way things are now anyway, because it's the way things have become, and the guys in Mayhem are now doing like a tremendous job doing their stuff, and I've made a lot of good albums afterwards also. But people can discuss this up and down and sideways, but for me it's like, okay, the Mayhem of Dead and Euronymous with the Hellhammer and Necro Butcher was that Mayhem, and this Mayhem is this Mayhem, and I don't think much about it. I think as long as people make good music, it's okay. But I know there's a lot of what do you call it, conservative people wanting things to be the way they were, but long time ago, but the world doesn't work like that. So I don't look backwards, I look forwards always.
You're watching lots of Chaos movie. What do you think about the movie and about your representation in the movie? It's accurate with your story?
It's I felt that it was like more like a spaghetti western version of the whole thing. I thought it was a little funny, and I think that my character was like minimized very much. So for me, that movie was like okay. It was not great, but not too bad either. It was like a little funny. I had some laughs, but I think that yeah, it might have been might have been better with a movie that was a little more realistic. But for me, it was like pretty unrealistic version of the story, and it was a little on the funny side. So I felt like it was the spaghetti western version of it.
If you want to be remembered for an album in your career, which is and why?
Yeah, I think the coming album will be a monster album, and I certainly put a lot more work into that than the previous one. So it's I think I hope that people will like the coming album a lot, and also I hope to make more albums that are good. So yeah, I just think that one of the albums that I will make will be the best, not the ones I've participated on so far, because I've forgotten about them already. I need to make new music. That's why I make music, not to listen to old shit. I want to make new music.
If you have an advice for who want to be a musician nowadays, and how is difficult become musician, especially in black metal scene, a second of your experience.
I'm always thinking that I don't want to make black metal songs. I just want to make good songs that I like to listen to. So I think people should dare to like make something that they are liking themselves instead of thinking about other people's opinions. Because if I do that, if I think about other people's opinions, it will be like a shackle. So I just experiment. I record things that I try to record everything I make so I can listen to it and evaluate it later, because in the moment you are like stuck in a certain mindset and you're in a bubble. Maybe the next day something you thought was genius is just stupid and boring. Maybe something you felt was stupid and boring is genius. So I think people just need to try to dare to make and also to record what they make all the time. So uh, and don't be afraid to like make something that is strange or feeling corny or anything. They just should like make whatever they come up with at the moment. Try to listen to the feeling you have inside when you make the music, and just make something and then evaluate later if it's good or not. And it's better to have like 20 shitty sketches drafts than and maybe have one idea that's cool that you can continue working with, instead of like every time you make something you have to make something good, because you can't. I make a lot of stupid shit also all the time. For the coming album I have like 50 different song ideas, and for the album there's 9 songs. So 1 out of 5 is okay. The rest is pretty shitty. So I think it's a little about confidence, that have confidence in trying to make something, and don't have respect for anybody's opinion, because it's, in my case, it's my opinion that counts in the end. If I like it, probably someone else will like it as well. And even if it's a little strange or out of place or different than everything else, it might be good. Some of the songs, for instance, from the debut album that I get most credit for, people like, is Stellar Master Elite, where I tried to like do all the wrong things. I tried to make like a happy song and use a drum beat that I stole from old Beatles love songs, and I just put a lot of wrong stuff into the song in different ways, and it became good anyway. So you never know when you have, if you have stupid ideas, they might become good, and if you have good ideas, they might become boring. So I think if people try to like make the most genius black metal song ever, it probably will fail. It's better to try to make something of your own that's when you try to do something a little different. That's my advice. And don't be afraid to use shitty gear, because like the Grimmick tape that people seem to like a lot, it's made with the shittiest gear. And also the debut album is partly made of pretty shitty gear. So as long as you like do the best with what you got and record as good as you can manage, it will probably be okay. And even if it sounds different and strange, people might actually like it.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for staying here today.
You're welcome. Thank you.